Hey, everybody, it's Ron Johnson, and this is Locked On Sports Minnesota, and it's Friday. So, you know what that means? No, it does not mean we're going to Friday Night Football. I wish we were, but no, this is the Roundtable. It's the Roundtable, people. I'm Ron Johnson. There's Julia Daniels joining us from Care 11. So there's a cat somewhere around there, and then that's Sam Extra. For those watching on YouTube, you'll see the cat every once in a while. So if you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening on your podcast device, make sure you just go to YouTube right on your phone, subscribe to YouTube, and you can watch our show live whenever we go live. You can also go back and watch previous shows. I had Adam Weber on just recently to talk about Eric Decker going to the Hall of Fame. Also, what makes Max Brosmer really good. But again, this is the Friday Roundtable on Locked On Sports Minnesota. That's Sam Ekstrom. That's Julia Daniels from Care 11. And you know what? We got to get locked in on these topics, people. But before we do that, we got a short pause.
This is the Locked On Sports Minnesota Roundtable, your favorite podcast personalities along with Care 11 sports reporters weighing in on the hottest topics. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, as I said, I'm Ron Johnson, the host of Locked On Sports Minnesota's Friday Roundtable, former Gophers wide receiver. We got Sam Ekstrom, the producer that does it all, and Julia Daniels. I mean, if you watch Friday night sports, Thursday night sports, Wednesday night sports, I mean, just watch sports on Care 11. You'll see Julia pop up. She's always fly. I don't know if they show her shoes every once in a while, but her kick game is kind of cool. So make sure you check Julia Daniels out on Care 11 on any sports night. You want to get your sports, make sure to check that out. But again, we have to get locked in on these topics, people, because there's a lot going on in Minnesota sports. There's playoffs. There's quarterbacks that are potentially getting $25 million a year now in Minnesota. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on in Minnesota sports. You see the Lynx out there doing their thing, and you see the Twins. We'll talk about that. But as we get locked in on these topics, Sam, what you got for us today?
Yeah, and also don't forget, brought to you by Game Time. Use the code LOCKEDON, $20 off your first purchase. We are going to talk about one team that's making the playoffs that starts this weekend, and another team that is completely in free fall and falling out of the race. We will juxtapose those two coming up a little later.
And we've got the Texans coming to town this weekend. We've got our bold predictions on how this Viking squad will fare against them.
And it's Pig Week bacon. I had bacon last night on my turkey burger. I had bacon on Wednesday in my salad. I'm having bacon on the pregame show. I've already told them, like the Gophers were like, hey, if you guys are down on the field, just let us know. We'll have the caterer bring you guys down a whole bin of bacon. But we're like, game's at 6:30 p.m. I don't know if we're going to be at the stadium that early. So we're doing it from the studios, but there's going to be bacon in the studio. So make sure you guys check out the Gophers pregame show. But we got to talk about this Iowa Hawkeyes Gophers game. There's some things I saw about last year's game. I've been watching last year's film, and I posted a couple. This 3 Ron Johnson on Twitter. I posted a couple Cooper DeJean issues. The guy was habitual. So we'll talk about that and much more coming up. He was a habitual something, and we'll talk about that and much more coming up. But I want, like Sam said, today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKED ON for $20 off your first purchase. People, I just went on there. So I got Gophers tickets. I'm going to the Gophers Iowa game, but I got other people that wanted to go. And you know what I did? I told them to go to the Game Time app because there was still about 42 tickets left, and they were going at a discounted rate. But now you can get even a bigger discount. Put Locked On in there when you check out. It's going to ask for a code at the bottom because trust me, I already tried it. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms.
Did we lose Ron Johnson?
He's gone.
Ron Johnson is frozen up. Internet issues. Julia, let's carry on. Let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings. We'll tap dance a little bit while we wait for Ron. Bold predictions from Julia. Let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting this past week. After the game, you expect Kevin O'Connell to come into his post-game presser and be just highly energetic, so excited about a huge win over the NFC champions. This whole thing, he comes in there and it seems like he's somber when he walks in, and he's like, this, that, the other. And then he starts talking about Sam Darnold, and he starts to get emotional about the quarterback. And you start to understand why, especially because Kevin O'Connell obviously is known for having these great relationships with his quarterbacks. And he just talked about all the adversity that Sam Darnold has faced and all of the opportunity that he hasn't had in his career, despite being the number 3 overall pick in 2018. And now finally getting to see him flourish, at least in week 1 and week 2. That being said, I think the Texans provide a really tough test for Sam Darnold this week. He boded well against a really, really tough and physical 49ers defense. But now he's going into a game where not only do you have Will Anderson, but you also have former Viking Danielle Hunter staring you down. I think that the Texans lead in sacks per play so far this season. It's just going to be, I think, if you aren't a believer in Sam Darnold quite yet, if he plays well this weekend, you should be a believer at that point. This is like Jonathan Grenard said, top 5 team in the league. I would argue top 3 team in the league right now. But my bold prediction is we will see another excellent game from Sam Darnold. I think that he's been given an opportunity with coaches that work well with him, coaches that he knows well. Having Josh McCown there is a huge advantage for him. But I think that my bold prediction is we will see another great game out of Sam Darnold, especially after what we saw him do with so many guys down towards the end of this last game on Sunday with the 49ers. So my bold prediction is another stellar start for Sam Darnold. I think that he has a chance to really prove himself and really give confidence to fans should he play well against the Texans.
Yeah, that would be incredible if he could outshine this hot new young quarterback with Houston, who everybody's talking about. Still a lot of doubters too about Sam Darnold. Like nationally, if you look at Stephen A. Smith talking about Sam, you look at a lot of other personalities around the country. No one's buying in yet. You look at the betting lines. There are 22 other quarterbacks more likely to win MVP than Sam Darnold at this point, including some really weird ones like Anthony Richardson and Tua, quarterbacks that are 0-2, quarterbacks that are injured. People are still sleeping on him. That would be a really cool one if he could have a second consecutive big game at home, build some momentum, go to 3-0. I think that stemming from that, I think the quarterback play is going to be great all around in this game, and I think that we're going to see another showcase between Justin Jefferson and Stefon Diggs. We saw it the first time they met in Buffalo. Remember, Stefon Diggs made the one-handed catch. He had a great game. Justin Jefferson one-ups him, catch of the century. Vikings win that game. And I think Paul Allen said in the call when they won that game, they decleated Diggs. When they play now on Sunday, I think there's going to be a lot of emotion. I think Diggs coming back home is going to generate some emotions in him. I think he's someone that kind of like the MJ documentary. He finds a way to take it personally. Like I think he's going to find motivation, whether it's there or not. Lately, he's been throwing some passive-aggressive arrows the Vikings way about the way things ended in Minnesota for him, even though that was 4 years ago. I think he finds a way to have his first big game as a Texan, but I think that Justin Jefferson answers right back. I mean, I think he's playing. He basically guaranteed he's playing with that injured quad, and I think they both put up 100 yards. So Diggs versus Jefferson is going to take center stage on Sunday, triple-digit yards for both.
Yeah, for me, and so thank you for tap dance until I got back. People, for those wondering what happens, I live in an area right now that there's a lot of construction going on, and there's a lot of new buildings going up, a lot of new houses. And so every day, Sam and I experienced this a while ago, they send us an email, and they just, like, no warning. Just, hey, by the way, your internet's going to cut out for 10 minutes. Or your internet's going to cut out. Last time, Sam, it was an hour. You remember that. So I do have the backup plan right here for those wondering what this is. This is the backup plan in case it does it again. Because I did see, I've actually had to call the cops on people with this construction because it's ridiculous. I literally called the cops on somebody last week. So it's just ridiculous. But it does happen. I get it. They're feeding new wires in, trying to get new people internet over in our area. So every once in a while, it just cuts out for a minute and it cuts back on. I don't think they realize people work from home now, Sam. I don't think they do because I literally work from home with all my jobs. And it's absolutely frustrating. But I do have my backup camera right here just in case it happens with the headphones ready to go. So no worries. But my bold prediction. So I heard yours, Sam. I'm going a different direction. I think on Sunday, people are going to find out who Nico Collins is and who Jalen Nailor is. Because although you have two stars in Stefon Diggs and Justin Jefferson, I think Nico Collins and Jalen Nailor. Now, Jalen Nailor hasn't proven he is a guy yet to the world. I think Tristan Jackson's going to make some pop ins and outs maybe because Jordan Addison right now didn't practice again. But Nico Collins leads the NFL, leads the NFL in yards, 252 yards. He's leading the NFL. He only has one touchdown, but he leads the NFL in first down. So if you look at CJ Stroud's third down target, it's Nico Collins because everybody's worried about Stefon Diggs. So I hope Brian Flores realizes that too. Like, hey, let's show like we're going to blanket Stefon and then run over and make sure Nico Collins is covered because he's been absolutely murdering people right now. Justin Jefferson, we know he's the top guy. But when you look at Jalen Naylor, he's only had 5 targets, 4 receptions, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think this is time for him to maybe get a little bit more shine on TV. I think it's coming. Another one, just a random thing I wanted to point out right now. For those that don't know, people talk about QBR because passer rating, everybody knows passer rating, but ESPN came up with their own thing. I think it was Morton Anderson. I can't remember who came up with it long time. We're going to come up with QBR. We're going to make it even harder. So although Kirk Cousins has a high passer rating, look at his QBR. He doesn't scramble well. He doesn't do well under pressure. Well, you know who does? Sam Darnold, 71.5 is QBR right now. He's tied for 4th. 63 is CJ Stroud. He's 9th. So I feel like my other bold prediction, Sam Darnold yet again is going to outshine the quarterback across from him. I think maybe you said that, Julia. I'm not sure. That was yours too. But I agree with you on that one too. I think Sam Darnold is going to outshine CJ Stroud. And CJ Stroud after the game is also going to go to Brian Flores and say, man, that's a crazy scheme, man. What do you? And then Flores is going to walk off like, I'm not talking to y'all. Get out my face. And then Tua's going to be sitting at home like, I know that guy. I know when he's mean to quarterbacks. He's done that to me. I don't know if you guys have seen that meme. Who is that? That was what's his name
Leonardo
from
DiCaprio.
Yep, Leonardo DiCaprio. That's Tua at home. As soon as he sees Brian Flores being mean to a quarterback, he's like, I've seen that. He's not nice to me. And there he goes. He did it to what's his name from the 49ers? Brock Purdy, and he's gonna do it to CJ Stroud. So hey, I'm looking forward to this game. It's gonna be fun. Here's another one for you guys too. Before we jump into, we have a word from our sponsor, and then we're gonna come back with some FanDuel locks. But before we jump into that, here's one thing I wanted to ask you guys if you knew this. Third down offense. Do you know who the top 3 third down offenses are in the NFL right now on third down?
In conversion rate?
Conversion rate. So conversion rate, but first downs or touchdowns, because the conversion rate sometimes doesn't account for. So I used the stat head, and sometimes the NFL one doesn't give them credit for touchdowns. They only give them for conversions, but they're saying either a first down or a touchdown on third down. Do you know who the top 3 teams in the NFL are?
I'm going to guess the Vikings or Texans are in that top 3. Maybe both. Chloe, am I right?
Julia?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings or the Texans or somewhere in there.
You know who number 1 is?
Huh?
Who's number 1? Who do you think number 1 is?
The Saints. The Saints haven't been stopped all year, so I'm guessing the Saints.
Yep, Saints are 1.
Yeah.
Do you know what number 2 is?
It's not the Vikings or the Texans?
Nope.
Who's been the Bucks? No, not the
Bucks. It's
shocking.
Wait, is it
very shocking?
Give us a hint.
He's one of the littlest quarterbacks in the NFL.
Kyler. Cardinals.
Oh.
Yep. Cardinals, because of last week, now how to throw the ball to Marvin Harrison. And then number 3 is the Vikings. No, the Houston Texans, Sam. I was very surprised. They're down in like the 17s. They've only converted 35.6% of their third downs. So that's why I kind of feel like Brian Flores is prepared for what he's about to see. Like, the Texans have not been great on third down. Look at the teams they've played. The Bears are absolute trash. Like, they play teams that don't even know how to get the ball out their hands. So I feel like this is a game where so many people were, oh, the Vikings suck. The Vikings are this. Sam Darnold's a virus. And game after game, they're going to show people they're really good. Sam Darnold has been efficient on third down and in the red zone. In the red zone, Sam, 8 for 9. 8 for 9. 88% completions, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He has a third best passer rating, 128.9. So Sam Darnold, I mean, I don't care what you say. You can say whatever you want, Stephen A., but Sam Darnold is legit. Like, Sam Darnold has listened to Kevin O'Connell, and he's making it go. But speaking of making it go, we're going to make you go to FanDuel and pay some money to win some money. But we'll do that after a word from our sponsors.
We're also brought to you today by Game Time, and there are so many tickets that you should acquire through Game Time to go see high-level sporting events in the Twin Cities right now. You've got the Lynx in the playoffs on Sunday. Get in the door with Game Time for $86. $86 also gets you in the door for Gophers, Iowa, Floyd of Rosedale on the line. You got the Twins battling for their playoff lives at Target Field next week. Very affordable tickets as they face the Marlins. And then the Vikings, of course, taking on the Texans. You want to be there. You want to be in the building. And there is a great deal right now to save you some money. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Toggle on the all-in pricing. Get views from your seat. Most flexible customer service policy in the industry. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
What time is it? Game time. So now we're going into the FanDuel locks, people. Just so you know, we're keeping the score. I am 2 for 2. So clearly I've bitten off more than I can chew. I need to stop giving out so many different options. So I'm 2 for 2 right now. Sam's 2-0. Reggie is 1-1, and Julia is undefeated. Oh, Sam's undefeated too. Julia's 1-0. She got the Jalen Naylor anytime touchdown. Reggie missed the Aaron Jones. I missed Aaron Jones 2 touchdowns. But I got the Mason anytime touchdown score. So I should have stayed away from Aaron Jones and just went with Mason because he's been, I don't know if you heard the Mason interview recently, but Jordan Mason recently went on the interview now that he can talk about being Christian McCaffrey's replacement because he wasn't allowed to before. He said, which I mean, he still kind of gave it away, but who cares? He said for the last couple of weeks, which is wait a minute. So you kind of knew. He's been sitting next to Christian McCaffrey. He's been watching Christian McCaffrey. He's been making sure he sits next to him in the meetings. He's been asking him everything. He said for multiple weeks. So that means he knew ahead of time. So at this point, he doesn't care. The coach is whatever. If you want to find us, find us. But yeah, he kind of said I knew I needed to be like Christian McCaffrey. I knew I need to catch the ball more. I knew I need to line up a running back. He said he didn't want Brock Purdy to do anything that he had to change because he didn't have Christian McCaffrey. So Mason's trying to become Christian McCaffrey. And I'm glad I picked him for that one. So now it's time for our lock. So Julia with 1-0, what you got?
Okay. Here's what I got.
And Julia's been nailing her locks and predictions for the last month. I don't think you've had a bad one yet.
This one might be my most bold one yet, but we got to do it at some point. And it's not really that bold because let's be honest, the Vikings have the best kicker in the league, the best young kicker in the league. Vikings first drive result, I'm going plus 360 field goal attempt. Will the thrill coming?
Now, does that need to be good or just attempted?
Just an attempt.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't even need to be good. He can just try it. All right.
Nope. But I mean, plus 360 for just a field goal attempt?
Yeah.
I say it's a pretty good bet.
Yeah, field goal attempt. It doesn't say it had to be make it. Yeah.
All right.
Offensive touchdown.
The script will get them downfield.
Other.
The script will get them into field goal range. Then Danielle Hunter will make a play, stop them. And they'll try a field goal.
He's going to come out swinging. He may not be able to keep that steam the whole game, but maybe on that first drive there.
All right. So Julia's trying to make a lot of money, plus 360. I'm looking at the running game. I'm really bought into the Vikings running game right now with their explosiveness. They're top 5 in runs of 10 yards or more this year. And I just think that the threshold to hit these overs is so low. Ty Chandler has gotten 8 and 10 carries in the first 2 games, respectively. He's got highly explosive potential, and the over-under is 36.5 yards on Chandler. Beyond that, Aaron Jones also popped up on the injured list, so maybe he's playing, but maybe not 100%. Ty Chandler was incredible against the 49ers. Maybe he gets a couple extra looks in this game. 36.5 yards for Ty Chandler. I'm going to go over on Ty Chandler rushing yards.
Well, I can't believe this is a plus. So you're getting plus 144 with this one. I'm going to go Diggs 60 plus yards. I think Diggs is going to whine all week. He's going to talk to CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is young. CJ Stroud is hip. CJ Stroud walks in the locker room and says no cap. So they're on the same page. Get me the ball at least a couple times, man. I'm coming back home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Yeah, that's only artist to be doing a song.
Huh?
Right now.
Say what?
That's the wrong artist to be doing a song.
Who does that song? Who is that?
Diddy.
Is that Diddy?
Yeah.
No, it's
So
not.
he does the verses, and then there's a gal that does the chorus.
Yeah.
Right?
Really? I did
Yeah.
not know that. I thought it was just like because I've heard country people just play that. So maybe they just played it without the
covered a
Diddy.
lot.
Yeah, that's what I
covered
was
a
saying.
lot.
It's covered. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going off the cover, not the Diddy version. I've never actually heard that song. I did not know Diddy sang that song. But I've been around the world and back, yeah. I mean, so here's the thing. We not allowed to, so we can't play R. Kelly music. We can't play Diddy music.
The name on that track is Diddy Dirty Money, isn't it?
Is it? We can't play Diddy. We can't play R. Kelly. Like eventually, like if it keeps coming out, we're not going to be able to listen to music. Like we're going to have to go with like Sabrina Carpenter or something. Like we can't, like J-Lo's been at those parties. So now J-Lo might be on tapes and we can't play that. Like what's going on? Like what's going on now? We can't.
J-Lo hasn't made a good
music.
song in 20 years.
Hey, Jenny from the Block though. I'm still Jenny from the Block. For those listening, this is not Hot 96 music station. This is Locked On Sports Minnesota. This is the Friday Roundtable. I'm Ron Johnson, Julia Dan, Sam Ekstrom. We'd love to just jump into random music stuff. But Julia, thanks for telling me. So what's another coming home song? Mate. Oh, well, that's still kind of Bad Boys. Mace. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. But Welcome Back Carter was sung by a different person. So I'm going with the original. And they're going to welcome Diggs back into the stadium. He's going to go for 60+ yards, people. So back to the FanDuel locks. Welcome back Diggs. He's going to go for 60+ at least. He might. And I'm going off of Sam saying it's going to be an explosion of Diggs and what's his name? Now, FanDuel doesn't have this, but I would bet on a crash out from Chris Boyd. I think Chris Boyd is going to do something. He's going to crash out.
Is he going
to
play? Well, he's been limited in practice, but I guess
he's been limited. Yeah, I just looked at the injury report. Let's see. It hasn't been updated yet, but as of yesterday, Chris Boyd was limited on Thursday. He did not practice Wednesday. He was limited Thursday. As far as the Vikings go, people, Addison did not practice again yesterday, so we'll see today. My guess is he's out. We know Dallas Turner has said he's out. But looks like everybody else was full participants. So that's great news. Addison and Dallas Turner. And everybody else, Naylor, Ed Ingram, Aaron Jones, Garrett Bradbury, Andrew Van Ginkel, Ivan Pace, Brian O'Neill, and Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's limited, but he said he's going. And then you got Chris Boyd limited. You got Nico Collins limited. You got Kamari Lassiter for a participant.
Their running backs are both hurt, right, Ron? Both of them.
Joe Mixon did not practice, and Damian Pierce did not practice. Dalton Schultz, the tight end, was a full participant. And then MJ Stewart and their center Scruggs was a limited participant, which if you're a limited center and you're going against this defense, ooh, what is that, buddy? What is that? Ew, brother, what is that? You can't go against Brian Flores limited at center. Like he's gonna stack the A gap now. So Chris Boyd is limited, but I'm guessing he's gonna beg to play. Now who knows? Now if he doesn't play, there's no crash out. But if he plays, I don't know if you guys have been following along on Instagram. This dude has had like 5 posts about the Vikings on his Instagram story. Like one is like, you know what it is what it is. And if they say it is, it ain't. And then the next one, you know what they're trying to say. You know what they're trying to do. Like what? Then the last one is, hey Vikings fans, pass the word around. It's all love. Like ain't nobody, like nobody's even really talking about you. Like what's going on? Like why is he crashing out on Instagram already? And nobody's even said a bad thing about him. So yeah, I feel like a crash out's coming possible.
He's mad at Mike Zimmer for catching strays in that article.
Oh, Zimmer says something about Boyd?
So Zimmer did the article with Star Tribune, and he got asked about, all the bad stuff that people said about him on the way out. And he goes, yeah, Chris Boyd said something. That guy had more special teams penalties than anyone in history.
Oh, okay. I did not read all that.
Yeah.
Wow. So Zim really went like brimstone and fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Scorched earth.
So what did Chris Boyd say about Zim though? Did he say something bad?
He actually, I don't remember Boyd saying anything. And then
I think Boyd was just like Eric Kendricks, though. Like they said, it was a fear-based organization. Like,
Yeah,
and
they
he still picked up Eric Kendricks. I mean, technically, he
other
didn't.
stuff though with Chris Boyd. Like, I think you told me about it, Ron. That there was other stuff going on. Like, but we don't have to get on a public platform. And
you know
Okay.
who hasn't tweeted?
really terrible, but there is other stuff that.
Well, I do know. I mean, I do know. Like, again, I know there was issues with the DBs. Period in Zimmer. Like Zimmer always like Xavier Rhodes hated Zimmer during the times, and then now I think he appreciates him. Harrison Smith, like I don't think Zim ever bothered him because he was always great. But I mean, Zim's hard. Like we know that Zim's hard on his DBs. But I do know like J-Ron Curse and Chris Boyd kind of retreated. Like you're not always the best option that I have out here. And so I know there was always like a little bit of animosity between them. But I didn't know that Zimmer like went off like that on him. Like, dang, calling out his penalties. Like, wow.
He had a lot of them. I checked.
Defense because it was terrible.
So maybe that's why he's crashing out now too, because he thinks all the Vikings fans read the Zimmer article and they're all talking about him and all the penalties he had. Now, which would be funny is that the minute Chris Boyd like runs out the tunnel, a whole bunch of fans in that section just throw yellow flags onto the field.
This is so ironic because Vikings fans loved Chris Boyd.
I know, because he did the jersey.
Year.
Well, but remember he did the Pro Bowl jersey thing too, though. It never actually gave people the jerseys.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. Remember he did do that. Like he tweeted, if whoever votes for me or whatever, I'll get you a signed jersey. Is that the cat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yep, he's peeking up. Playing hide and go seek. For those watching on YouTube, make sure if you're listening to the podcast, make sure you check us out on YouTube. But yes, that did happen, Julia. It wasn't like it's public knowledge. I mean, I don't think people understood what happened, but what happened was verbiage. What he meant to say was I was going to give away some jerseys to the people that voted for me, and I'll pick the names. He kind of just like went like word vomit or what did you used to call it, Sam? With a certain person that said a lot of words but never got the question out. What'd you guys call it?
Word salad.
Word salad. He word saladed the tweet and kind of was super excited that his name was even on the ballot that high still at that point. And he's like, hey, whoever votes for me, I got a jersey for you. So, and he's like, show me your vote. So people were all tweeting him their vote, and it ended up being like, probably a couple hundred people that tweeted him the vote. And then everybody started commenting like, yo, where's my jersey? Yo, where's my jersey? What's going on, Chris Boyd? You promised us a jersey. And then he came back with the Vikings and NFL won't let me do it, which I don't know if that's true because I'm pretty sure you could just go buy jerseys. And so, yeah, he came back with that tweet that, sorry, fans, the Vikings won't let me do it. And then that's when, and so not only the Zimmer article, but then that probably too is probably throwing him off a little bit. So he last night, his message was, it's all love, Vikings fans. I can't wait to be back at US Bank Stadium. Pass it on. Like, pass it on. Like, what is this? What do you mean pass it on? Like, everybody's going to tweet, hey, everybody, Chris Boyd said it's all good. Pass it down. And it's like, you just pass around the stadium.
Oh, we're all so worried.
So anyway, enough about Chris Boyd and the crashing out. Now, because we do have a quick word from our sponsors, but before we get to that, we can't take care of some business, people, some serious business on Saturday. I'm super excited now. So here's the thing, man. I don't care how old I am. I don't care how many football games I've been to. I don't care what. I always love when I get to do stuff like this. And so that's why, got to bring this out. And I was talking to somebody else about this yesterday. So Max Williams' dad was one of them, and it was another NFL player, and I forgot who it was. But we were talking about the weight of the helmets now versus back when we played. So if you see the inside, people, it's full, like air padded, it's weighted, it's super heavy. And people were saying the heavier helmets maybe saved us from concussion. And so that's like, I kind of agree with that, but that has nothing to do with this topic. My topic is I'm excited because I get to go to the Gophers game. Now I get to go anyway, but I get to take my family. And a lot of times I don't get to enjoy like the Vikings games or the Gophers games with my family because I'm working or I'm getting ready for a post-game show. And so I do actually get to go to this game. I'm super excited. I don't think I've ever taken my daughters to an Iowa game, so this is a first for them to see that atmosphere of crazy Gophers fans, how loud it is. I got my parking pass. The Gophers just hooked me up. They called me this morning before the show started, and Sam and Julia witnessed it. But yeah, I texted them on like Wednesday because I found out my daughter's softball schedule. And I'm like, hey, I can go to the game, or my family can go to the game now. Is there any chance? I know it's late. I can get 3 tickets. I don't even need 4. I'll stand because I got my pass. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got you. We'll shoot you an email. And then today I get the call, hey, Ron, yep, we got you. Next time, just hit us up sooner because we'll take care of you even if you can't come. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I appreciate that, Gophers, because a lot of times, like, I don't like to ask for stuff. And it's cool when you actually get the reciprocation back. So I do appreciate it. I'm tearing up a little bit. I do appreciate the love from the Gophers, and I'm looking forward to it. I will be in maroon. I got the maroon out. My kids are going to be maroon. I got the maroon and white Gopher Nikes. So I'm really ready for that. I haven't unveiled those yet. So I'm ready to walk on campus with the maroon and white and gray Air Max. My wife has a pair. My daughters have a pair. So we're going to be matching shoes, and we're going to be marooned out. I got the maroon hoodie. I'm ready to go. I can't wait. So my quick prediction, what I'm watching closely, I'm watching the quarterbacks because Cade McNamara, we don't know if he's going to play. Like, he was hurt. I hope he plays because he's terrible. So Cade McNamara, hope he plays. And I'm watching Max Brosmer because Max Brosmer, my breakdown on the Gophers pregame show Saturday morning, I'm doing a full breakdown of Ethan Kellick, man. There's nothing against him, and Max Brosmer. And I'm showing the differences in the same exact plays, people. These are, I found 2 of the exact same plays with a little help. But I found 2 of the exact same plays. Ethan had one result. Max had a different result. Just tune it in Saturday to see it. But I'm watching both of them. That's what I'm watching closely because this game has normally come down to defense, who punts the best, and then I think it's going to come down to quarterback play. I think this is truly like Max Brosmer is about to step on the scene and show people that he is a legit quarterback. He's had some games to get acclimated to Minnesota. He's never played in front of a crowd like this. It's sold out. He's never played in front of a crowd like this. It's going to be, 56,000 people? He is going to be absolutely on fire. I just hope he keeps his nerves together and throws the ball. So that's what I'm paying close attention to is the quarterback play. Sam, what about you?
Yeah, I'm looking at last year's box score just for a little entertainment because let's remember how ugly this game was. 12-10 Gophers. This was the Iowa quarterback. So Deacon Hill was their quarterback last year. He went 10 for 28. 0 touchdowns, a pick, and 2 lost fumbles. His QBR, which you brought up earlier, Ron, and that's a scale of 0 to 100. His QBR was 9 in this game. And you know what? There was a lot of pressure on him too because the Gophers held the Hawkeyes to 11 yards rushing in the game, like well under a yard per carry. They were horrible on the ground. So I think that the same will be true. If you can stifle the Iowa rushing attack and force as Ron says, a bad quarterback to play quarterback, good things will happen to you. And the Gophers defense is legit. I mean, they are the real item, I think. With all the returning players they have, the front 7, Wally, hopefully healthy in the secondary. I think this is a Gopher team that could hold the Hawkeyes to 10 or less again. So let's just stop the run. Let's make the quarterback drop back 30 times and make mistakes and take advantage. Gophers are underdogs in this game, by the way. I like Minnesota. Actually, it's the same line as the Vikings. How about a Gophers Vikings parlay at +2.5, both of them over the weekend? But stop the run, win the game.
Julia.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Gophers have like the number 5 defense in the nation right now.
2 shutouts helps.
Yeah, it does. It certainly does. I think that, yeah, it's just a consistent play from this defense, making sure everybody's healthy. But I also think it is, if you want to talk sports in a linear sense, Iowa didn't really manhandle Troy the way that I feel like a team like Iowa should. This past week was like a 38-21 game or something like that. Also, that Troy team has already played Nevada this year, and I think that Troy team lost to Nevada in their season opener. So if you want to talk linear, Gophers manhandled Nevada. Nevada beat Troy. Troy didn't put some points up against Iowa. So, if you want to talk about sports in that sense, granted, this is college football. The beauty of it is every week you get something different. But I would say I'm mostly looking forward to seeing this Gopher defense and how they can shut down this Iowa offense. I think that they have a solid chance. I'm a little surprised that Iowa is a 2.5 favorite, but I think the Gophers, I think they could put this one away if they really, really wanted to.
And K. McNamara came from Michigan. He transferred. We know that. That was their apparent hope last year. He got hurt. Deacon Hill had to take over. He wasn't great. He was okay. He wasn't great, but he lived off that defense. Their punt was their number one weapon. They were punting the ball. They did it against the Gophers twice. They always found a way to get the ball inside the 10-yard line, and their punter was great at it. He was great at the coffin corner kick. Recently, K. McNamara got hurt again. Brandon Sullivan did have to come in, but it looks like K. McNamara, as of now, because we know college football doesn't have to say anything until 2 hours for the game, so we won't know until about 4:30, which is so stupid. But around 4:30, we'll find out if K. McNamara is going to play or not, because college, they don't have to tell, because they're minors. Some of them, 18 is legal adult now, so I don't know what they're talking about. They're not amateurs anymore. They're making millions of dollars. Tell us where they're at. But you don't have to disclose anything during the week, so we'll find out 2 hours before kickoff. But Brandon Sullivan is their potential backup, 6'4", 220 pounds. I remember the kid because he went to Northwestern. He's from Davison High School in Michigan. I played against Davison High School, so I do remember that kid, but he was at Northwestern. He is the next option for them. And so either way, give me K. McNamara, give me Brandon Sullivan. Either way, I think, like Julia said, this Gophers defense is legit. Josh Joyner, Anthony Smith, Jack Henderson's been on the show. Justin Wiley's been on the show. And Justin Wiley did get hurt, so hopefully we'll see what happens with him. I pray that he's able to play because he is a big part of this. They do have other guys. We saw that 3 other guys had it, or three interceptions from 2 other guys. So we know they can get that done. But Justin Wiley on the field is a different beast. Like he's an NFL guy. We know that. He will be playing on Sundays. He's one of the top, I think, 12 cornerbacks in the country right now. And so having him on the field is a big deal. So I hope he is able to go. So we'll look forward to that. And when we come back, Sam's got some stuff for us with the Lynx. Yay! The Twins? No. But we'll do that after a word from our sponsors.
We've already told you about FanDuel, and we want to tell you some more about FanDuel. That's America's #1 sportsbook. They are bringing you today's show. They've got a great promotion that is ending in 2 days. Take advantage now. Until Sunday, September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5, get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So this is perfect. We've given you the locks. We've told you the bets that are going to win. So all you need to do is create your account, bet 5, get 3 free weeks of NFL Sunday Ticket. And with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out of market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Gophers +2.5, Vikings +2.5, $5 on either one of those gets you 3 free weeks of Sunday Ticket. FanDuel.com. Download America's #1 sportsbook. Get started today.
Well, as we jump into this Lynx Twins conversation, Sam, I can't believe it. But my Tigers, take it away, Sam.
Your Tigers are charging. They've closed a 10-game gap in a month, which is just absurd. Let me just compare these two teams. Let me preach a little bit right now. You should not be mourning the loss of this Twins season. You should be celebrating this Lynx season. You should dive wholeheartedly into this Lynx playoff run because they deserve it. The Minnesota Lynx are legit. The Minnesota Lynx finished 30-10 this season. After the All-Star break, they played 14 games that they cared about. They didn't care about yesterday. They're locked in the 2 seed. They didn't play their players, so they lost that game. Of the games that they cared about, they won 13 of 14 after the All-Star break. They are playing their best basketball. They pass, they shoot, they defend. They're likable. Cheryl Reeve is a great coach. This is a team with a championship instinct. If the Twins blow this, and it seems like they are, I'm not going to mourn the loss of this team. You know why? Because ownership didn't invest in them in the offseason or in season at the trade deadline. They weren't on TV for 3 months. Their stars can't stay on the field. Their bullpen is just atrociously bad in the second half, arguably mismanaged, but the players themselves aren't very good. This is not a likable baseball team. And if they complete this collapse and it's headed the wrong way, I'm going to have a hard time really shedding a tear about not having postseason play, because nothing that's happened along the line has endeared them to me. Everything about this team has pushed me away. The offense has blackouts for weeks on end, endless offensive ineptitude. Against Cleveland this year, or in the last, all year against Cleveland, they averaged less than 3 runs per game, including in 3 games in this series, all of them losses. This is not a good baseball team, folks. This is not a fun baseball team. This is a disappointing product.
Lackluster, to say the least. Right, Sam?
I would second that. There are a lot of other words I'd use too.
To say the least. I was having this conversation with a few of the guys in the Vikings locker room yesterday, because you're kind of standing around waiting for guys to come in after practice. And we were all just like, what's the point of covering the Twins at this point? It's just like they're giving us absolutely nothing. There's nothing exciting. There's nothing. I mean, what did you say? A month ago, they were 10 games ahead of Detroit. Last week, they were 5 games ahead of Detroit in the wild card spot. At this point, unfortunately, in Twins fashion, I think they will get that wild card spot. And then we'll have to endure a series for them to knock themselves out.
It would be ironic if this were the team to break the championship drought in men's sports, the most unlikable team limping their way into the playoffs. This would, of course, be the team that would go and win a World Series.
Right. By all means, please do that, but it's just like, it feels so pointless. And I think also the TV deal had a lot to do with this in terms of like getting fans excited about the season, because nobody could watch their team for so long. Mm-hmm. The Lynx, on the other hand, they got the Mercury. They're 3-1 against them this season. I think this should be an easy series for them to sweep. It's, for those that don't know WNBA, it is a best of 3 series. They're playing Sunday, then they play game 2 Wednesday, but those first 2 ones are at home. I think this should be an easy one for them to win and move on. Absolutely, knock on wood, I do believe that this Lynx team could take it all the way and win a championship. Mm-hmm. Cheryl Reeve, was it announced she's WNBA Coach of the Year? Or did I make that up in my head?
I can't confirm or deny, but I think she would absolutely deserve it.
Yeah. The way that she has turned this organization around in a short period of time, because remember last year was the rebuild and then they still made the playoff, says everything about Cheryl. It says everything about Nafisa Collier and Kayla McBride. They lost that last meaningless season finale, but B and Kayla were not playing in that one. So, I think Sunday will be exciting. Wednesday will be exciting, and we should expect them to move on.
Well, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You guys know how I feel about the Twins. It comes down to hitting the ball. It comes down to making the plays. Like, did you guys see the Mariners' last 2 plays, their last 2 games, how they're base running?
Some blunders. Yeah, some blunders, to say the
least. Like one, because this is Major League Baseball. I understand stealing home against like 12U, 14U, 16U, maybe even high school. Like, high school pitchers aren't always accurate at throwing the ball back to the catcher. These are millionaires who practice these plays all the time. And you think you're going to steal home on not only, like, the catcher's actually watching you. Like, they're prepared for this play. Like, if you watch it, the catcher throws it to the pitcher. He's like staring at the runner. Like, I dare you. I dare you to run. And the idiot runs. And then he just does a pitcher throws it back, tags him out, dummy. Next game, guy swings the bat, throws it at his teammate. He runs away like a scared little kid, forgets that, wait a minute, I'm still supposed to be on third base. He gets thrown out again. The catcher's like, you guys are dumb. Like if I'm a catcher and it happens twice, I'm like, you guys are dumb. And so for the Twins, it comes down to not doing dumb stuff. Like, I understand health matters, like the health, but being up, what was it? You guys had 10-game lead?
Yes.
To have a 10-game lead and you just like watch it go away. Like, I don't get it. And I think Sam's right. You don't deserve to weep when they don't make the playoffs. Like, now if they get in somehow and they get to do the champagne, I wouldn't even, like, if they do get in, they don't even deserve a champagne celebration. I know it's probably part of the MLB right now because they want to promote champagne or whoever their vendor is or whatever. The sunglasses maybe from Oakley. They don't deserve it. Like,
they
if
deserve NA beer. They can have NA beer. They can't have the real thing.
I think they deserve water. Like, here's Gatorade and water. Just go to the locker room, throw Gatorade on each other. But don't even throw stuff up. Get dressed and go home and think about that you limped into the playoffs. Like, that's where they should be. You should not be celebrating. I don't want to see their agents posting pictures. Like, I just saw the Rock Nation just posted the Yankees players that they're signed to their label, that are signed to their group, that are in the playoffs for the Yankees, and like, no, don't celebrate that. Now the Lynx, Sam is dead on. You guys should be celebrating the Lynx. They are one of the top 2 teams in the NBA. They're playing well. Nafisa Collier is probably one of the best players, if not the best right now, as far as just how she's playing. They have a chance to go to the finals, and they have a chance to win. I mean, because let's be real, we see the other teams in there, and the Lynx have been handling them. So this looks like they might be hanging. What would these be? Banner number 5?
Yeah.
Like one for the thumb. So they're hanging one for the thumb. Like, it's time to hang it up. Like, they have a chance to get their 5th championship on a year where Maya Moore's jersey was. So it fits. The whole narrative fits. You retire Maya Moore's jersey, you go win a championship for. Maybe Maya Moore comes out like last minute retirement to play in the finals, and she's like, you know what? Put me in, coach. I'm ready. And she goes out and wins another championship. But it's not going to happen because she's good and she's happy and she's made her money. But I do want to say that I'm happy for the Lynx. The Twins got some splaining to do. You got some splaining to do, Lucy, because it doesn't add up. Like, I don't know what's going. Like, is their catcher giving away the signs too? Like, what's going on? Like, does he not want to be
corruption?
Like, it's something. Like, is the pitcher tipping his pitches? Like, his first base saying like, "Hey, he's going to try to pick you off here. Just go to second base." Like, I don't know what's going on, but it just doesn't look great for them to be up by 10. And then now, and baseball's hard to lose a lead like that. Like, I understand basketball because it goes in a game of run, but baseball, 10-game lead, you should be able to cruise into the playoffs. And so they're not. But I'm Ron Johnson. That's Sam Ekstrom. That's Julia Daniels joining us. We will have Reggie hopefully next week. Make sure you guys go to FanDuel and check our locks. If you are just joining the show and you've missed our locks, just go back in the show. Check out our locks. Make sure you guys bet it because they're probably going to hit. Make sure you put $5 on it as well because it's well worth it, if not more, because we put you all in the plus. We're trying to get you guys on the plus side. We're not taking any minuses. By the way, I don't know if you saw the one minus. It was Saquon Barkley and whoever he played that first week. It was 2 running backs. Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, anytime touchdown scores. It was like minus something. So the dude bet 500 just to win $71 and still lost because Saquon Barkley got down to the 1-yard line like 3 times and they did not give him the ball again. So absolutely just torn. Like, how do you watch Saquon? And the one picture is like Saquon's knee down and the ball's reaching out and they don't give it to him. So he was one Saquon Barkley touchdown away from winning $71. So not only was that a dumb bet, he lost $500. But we gave you some locks, people, that are going to pay out even better than that. We're not going to give you those like sure things that might not hit. We're giving you things that might not hit, but we think they're a sure thing. Again, I'm Ron Johnson. It's been Locked On Sports Minnesota. That's Sam. That's Julia Daniels. I want to thank you guys. Have a great weekend.